and welcome to CIO News. I'm Khushbu Soni, your host for the broadcast operating editor at CIO News. This is a recorded session and will be available on our website, which is cionews.co.in, and our CIO News LinkedIn. Basically, an exclusive fireside chat powered by Avaya on transformation through customer experience. Businesses are built by the experiences they provide, and every day, millions of those experiences are delivered by Avaya. Avaya is shaping what's next for the future with innovation and partnership that deliver game-changing benefits. Let me dive in introducing my guest for today. He is Mr. Shivankar Pramanik. He's basically the Chief Information Officer at Columbia Asia Hospital. Shivankar is a technology with strong record in robust IT infrastructure architecture for over 21 years for various organizations. Shivankar has been leading digital transformation, artificial intelligence, process automation for almost 14 years in the healthcare industry. He has rich experience in conceptualizing, implementing new innovative healthcare projects from scratch to success, and also developing business plan, process improvements, resource allocation, budgets, and cost utilizing across projects. Welcome, Shivankar.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. It's appreciate. I'll be part of this meeting.
Pleasure's all ours, Shivankar. Allow me to introduce Bhavesh Vora. He's the sales engineering leader at Avaya South region. Has dynamic and result-oriented experience with progressive leadership in enterprise and telecom IT industry space. He has about 20 years of experience in various roles. He has good exposure in providing solutions and ensuring revenue growth. He's been maintaining relationship with top level executives and technology partners, developing GTM strategy to align pre-sales, product engineering, and customer market requirements. Bhavesh.
Yeah, thank you, Khushbu. Thank you, Mr. Shivankar, and I'm really glad to be part of this.
Great. Over to you, Bhavesh, to drive our fireside chat today.
Okay, fine. I think let's quickly start. Mr. Shivankar, thank you for joining once again. One thing that comes to my mind, and the first question that I would like to ask, we are in this, the virus time. We all know it, right?
Yeah.
And while all of us are busy, the healthcare workers are the busiest, and the healthcare industry has been the most busy for the last 1.5 years. We all see in the news a lot of pressure on doctors, nurses, the other hospital staff, and all. And from my experience, I have seen, whenever business is under a lot of pressure, the pressure comes to the IT teams also. So my first question to you, Mr. Would be like, what has been your journey for this last 1.5 years? So much pressure on the hospitals. How does it translate to IT teams? What are the business priorities? What are the new challenges you had? And any new learnings which you would like to share with us? It would be really, really good.
Thanks, Bhavesh, actually.
Yeah.
Any persons perform better and best on pressure, I believe so. And all the kind of innovations, all the kind of explorations comes under pressure only. If there is no pressure, there is no work, there are no innovations. So we in IT industry, specifically for healthcare IT, we took it in this way, and we achieved many things in terms of technology to address the business needs current which healthcare industry is facing and required. If I say top 10 business requirement, first which is coming in my mind, like harnessing advanced health technology, you can say. So first, we can take it as a business need. Means in the current tech landscape, software application used in a hospital, such as appointment management system. It's a very basic systems, patient administration systems, laboratory management systems, now getting powered with advanced techs like AI and machine learning things. Initially, it was just on the call appointment systems. Now it is based, you can see all the hospitals have put their bots on their appointment systems and patient inquiry systems, obviously. So once it was required and it has been innovated and developed. So to harness these potentials of healthcare technology, transform the health systems and develop a connected healthcare environment, healthcare leaders and clinicians need to force closer ties with medical manufacturing industries also, and software application development industry also. So this is also a good scope and good business requirement for healthcare industry. Another things next we can look in a broader sense like information and integrated health services. Uh, most care providers, even top healthcare companies, lack advanced architecture and data management systems to manage data collected from multiple sources. Now they are more colloid and more efficient data management system they are making. Whenever you are talking to any HIS or any healthcare patient monitoring, patient operating systems, you can take as of now, they enhance their own systems in such a way now their architecture totally changed. So it was a need of business requirement, and now technically it has been enhanced in that sense. Another is very crucial nowadays is the cybersecurity. It's a top priority as of now in IT industry for healthcare domain specifically. Now you are open up your business in publicly. You are now interfacing with the patients directly. So cyber security, you are opening up your door basically. So cyber security is the main things now we are looking, which is booming up. In terms of data breaches, if I recall the stats also, it is almost 150%, which was earlier in 2015, 2016. So last 5, 6 years, 7 years down the line, it has reaches 150% higher. So it's so now in fertile mode, the healthcare data is now. So it's a very highly required for healthcare business. Another is healthcare cost. Now your technical investment is high. Your stakeholders, different kind of stakeholders are involved in your business. So total cost to the patients is now getting high. So we have to think in such a way that our cost to the patient should come down by imposing technical facility or technical capabilities. So investment in healthcare is much more is very high. So this cost basically goes to the patients also, definitely from business science. So this is also a business requirement. Another important is like payment processing and invoicing also. Now it is much more integrated with TPAs and insurance companies. So rather than sending papers and faxing it, now it's totally online. So mode of operandi is totally changed. Another business requirement is anything is cost. What I told you also, you can divide it cost to the patients. Even pharmaceuticals prices also going up. So it is also a concern since their logistic cost is very high for the healthcare business. So these are the main very prominent healthcare requirement as of now, and as well as what IT is doing on those points.
Thank you, Shivankar. I think good insights. You have covered a lot of aspects. Probably these are the things that worry you, through the night, and maybe not allow you to sleep. I think good insights. Okay, let me take this forward and ask some more, specific questions, and we'll go one by one. The next I want to ask is about patient experience. I mean, basically you're a large hospital chain, right? And I'm only looking at Columbia, not even looking at the other subsidiaries.
Yeah.
I think there are 11,
Yeah.
12 hospitals. So
Yeah.
the customer experience which you provide, number one is how do you measure patient experience, not customer, sorry.
Yeah.
How do you measure patient experience? Is the strategy of patient experience, centralized across Columbia Group, or it is different in each hospital? What are your views and insights, or what is the path that you plan to take it forward?
See, customer experience we generally capture through some feedback form, yeah, kind of tools, CSAT kind of tools. So analysis, definitely it is a centralized analysis, and after analyzing all those things, we generally use to review everything, and action taken will be done by the units, definitely. So analysis to the board of management and the action taken, whatever is done, the board of management is directly involved on those things because they are much more concerned with the patient experience as of now. Because your maximum patients, outpatients, which is we generally called is your input flask basically, where patients comes and then it converts to the IP patients. So your outpatients, if the concerns of their if their satisfaction level is not so high, it can be converted into IPD patients. So basically, we are very much focused on outpatients feedback systems, so that we have to capture those things where we are lacking in the systems. Since our IPD patients mechanisms and handling the patients is very high, so we are not so giving the priority to the IP patients feedback. Definitely, it is in different level, but now we are focusing on outpatients, and maximum portions of the outpatients is now remote care systems. Like we are taking consultations through web, via WhatsApp kind of technology. So how they are feeling on this, because when patients comes to a doctor, their psychology works until unless their psychology satisfied, they are not satisfied with the doctor's even. It's a very common thing from patient perspective. So we need to understand whether doctor is talking to the patients properly, and patient is very much satisfied with the doctor's conversations. Doctor is explaining him properly or not. So these are the things we generally take care.
Great, thank you. So I think I'm probing more on the patient experience and maybe on the operations. So I think you covered a lot of points. What is the use of digital technologies, specifically around patient experience, and even if it is happening somewhere around the treatment? You see the increasing. See, one is of course face to face, right? That is the traditional way. Patient will come to the hospital, he'll interact with the doctor, whether it is OPD or a specialized service. Use of digital technologies and teleconsultation. You touched upon that briefly, I mean, and in this lockdown time, I think I have seen a lot of people are doing, even I have done video consultation with doctors, which is not very structured. You fix an appointment and do a WhatsApp call. Then how does a hospital measure how many teleconsultations we have done, and the use of digital technologies like social media or WhatsApp and all of them? What are your views on that, Mr. Showankar?
See, Havesh, it's a very good question in terms of measuring your teleconsultations establishment at your own premises. Basically, maximum healthcare providers are now using WhatsApp. You can't measure, you can't record those things. Columbia use their own VZ system, virtual consultation systems. So we can see how doctor is talking to the patients, okay? And after VZ, we used to send some sort of feedback forms, and we collect those forms, and we can analyze those forms that whether at what point patient is not satisfied. Like many of the people, doctor need not to measure your temperature, as for I'm giving the example for the whole consultations, but you still feel that doctor is not taking care of taking, because he's not taking those parameters, so I am not satisfied. Because he's
Correct.
not putting stetho on my chest, so I'm not satisfied. He's not asking me what's your BP, what's your temperature, so I'm not satisfied. So this is small things, but it matters basically. Uh, Although as a expert, consultant need not to know that parameters, but still for the patient it is required.
Yes.
So we analyze in that way how patient psychology is handling by a doctor, a consultant. That is much more important. Technology will come definitely, because if you are not providing the technology, so you can't measure it remotely, right? So in we generally many patients are very tech savvy. Okay, so they have their own tracking systems. They want that doctors can see those periodic measures on their applications. So there are a lot of inquiries, lot of queries comes to IT from Columbia perspective, Columbia Asia perspective. Like I used to get a query from a patient that he wants to transfer his entire uh, blood pressure monitoring data from his phone to our system, so that doctor can see entire history. So it is not possible as of now, but it is a requirement, a digital requirement. I can foresee. So this kind of requirement is definitely coming out. Digitalization on this era is too high prioritized work for IT in healthcare industry.
Correct. Good. Good. Yeah. So I think digital is the way, because every patient is not going to be able to go walk down and meet a doctor.
Yeah.
We had a problem in the rural India for decades because of not having doctors. Today we are having it in cities like Bangalore and Mumbai, because you cannot travel, right? Unless you have something very, very serious.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And without a certificate, COVID certificate, you can't even enter a hospital. Many of
Even
the,
even
yeah.
you can be well connected with your remote area also, in that sense. You can
Yes.
provide the healthcare facility to the remote area. So it need not to be worried that we have to doctor need to go there. At least primary consultations can be done remotely to any
Yes.
remote area.
Okay. Good. Thank you. Okay, going ahead, I think being in IT, and we all like to talk about the new trends. So one couple of new things which is coming out. I think you touched upon AI, bots and all briefly. So
Yeah.
I mean, how do you see use of artificial intelligence and robotics, both in patient experience management, understanding the disease, and even treatment of the patients? Because I have heard in Bangalore, I mean in Manipal, you have robotic surgeries also has been started by some of the hospitals. I mean, you can share some of those views, both artificial intelligence and robotics for the patient experience management and even treatment,
Yeah,
if
there are
something is happening. Yeah.
three component we can
Mm,
divide it in terms of application sites,
mm,
like putting a bot in particular systems. Uh, the actions which you regularly used to do, you can replace those actions into by a bot. Okay,
mm,
like you are chatting to a particular customer care in a hospital, so you
yes.
have a number of questions. It's a fixed
Mm,
number of questions. So you can put a bot over there. Your manpower cost at least saved. Okay,
mm,
on that sense, because gradually bot is already bot is designed in a way, such a way that whenever he will get a new questions, it will be matured for the next level. So one is use a bot in your repeated process.
yeah.
Your repeated works wherever in your systems. Another thing is robotics. What
Mm,
robotics is doing, robotics is a help to the clinicians. Like you mentioned that robotics is doing surgery. Robotics is
mm,
doing some procedure in the clinical systems. So as a robot is helping clinicians in the process. Another third thing is like uh, analysis of a data, big data, and analysis of your any disease. So you can put a RPA kind of things, robotic process automations, where you can analyze a person's through their kind of analyzing their parameters based on their parameters. Like there are, it's a very common trend is like now through a chest X-ray. Now RPA is analyzing that you have a tuberculosis or not, a TB or not in your chest, yeah, infection has there or not. So they have analyzed, suppose 1 crore, 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs data. And then they came to know that this is the standard algorithm to analyze those X-ray films. So after that, next patients will come, they can say that this is the maximum probable disease this chest X-ray is telling you. So in this way, RPA process is evolving. So there are 3 segments I told you. So the applications in healthcare domain is 3 segments, is going rapidly, developing rapidly. RPA is quite in you can say in very fast mode, rather than, because the robotics in surgery, robotics in any procedure is depends on your hardware systems, in your infrastructure systems. But RPA and bot systems is much more on the application system, logical systems. So it can be built very fast.
Thank you. I think that's good, good insights, Shivankar. Okay, one more question I have. I think you mentioned so many applications. Patient registration, payroll, invoicing. I don't know. I think hospital must be using a lot of applications, a lot of technologies. What is your view on, are most of them, I think, are still doing software on the premise, software and applications. You see trend of, things moving to the cloud, because everybody is talking about cloud now, right? Cloud first. If not cloud, then we'll do on-prem. Your views on, using cloud technology, both for infrastructure and application in Columbia Group.
As a CIO, as a Shubhankar, I support cloud. Okay. But being in a systems, I have to handle many things. So I can't say that I'm hardcore cloud IT guy, IT support guy, basically. So I have to be kept in my mind like many things like budgets, by all the security part. So we used to do work in hybrid environment, not in pure cloud as of now. But I prefer that we should go entirely into the cloud, because I feel that it is much more safest technology, which rather than comparatively to the on-prem hybrid model.
Okay, good. So I think my last question, I think a lot of insights. I think in a hospital, we have seen, I think there's so much staff, doctors, nurses, ward boys, so many patients walking in. And in India, it is a little bit different compared to the West. You have a lot of visiting doctors coming, going, and all. All hospitals may not have dedicated doctors. So how critical is communications, patients calling and then coming, doctors coming, nurses have to collaborate, how critical, how communication is managed, how important it is. You have emergencies, and ambulances coming to an emergency ward. There are things like code red, code blue has to be triggered. You have, nurse call applications and all those kind of things. So is there a strategy to look at it in a unified way? What are your views on that, as far as internal communications is considered inside a hospital?
Yeah, it's very much required. Frankly speaking, Navish, it's very much required. Now we are using silo mode for PA systems with separate applications for code blue, code red kind of things. So we are using different applications. So they are working in a silo mode. They are not talking to each other, and they are not in a single platform. So internal communications is is still public. It's not a very private for healthcare organizations.
Okay.
So it's a requirement. Definitely, it's a requirement for healthcare industry.
Okay, fine. Thank you. I think Khushbu, that's all that I had. I think I have asked a lot of questions and I have got good insights. Thank you, Mr. Shuvankar. I will, Khushbu, going
Thank
back to
you.
you, taking it forward to the next part of the agenda. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much, Bhavesh, for moderating. Thank you so much, Shuvankar, for such wonderful insights. I think this is going to be, very insightful for our CIOs. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Vishwa. Thank you.